My great-grandmother survived the blockade of Leningrad. Her husband, my great-grandfather, died of hunger and cold. So did their young son. For my family, those stories always belong to the past, to the darkest pages of 20th century Europe. That's why it feels almost unimaginable to say this out loud. In 2026, in the heart of Europe, people are once again freezing because of war. In Kyiv today, cold is being used as a weapon. Ukrainians call it Kholodomor, freezing by design. I spoke with the Ukrainian journalist Andrii Dikhtyarenko about what's happening in Kyiv right now. So first of all, tell me please about the weather in Kyiv. What are the temperatures now, and what is the weather in general?
It's about from 10 to 5 below zero, so it's kind of frosty. But right now, if we compare this weather with previous week, it's much warmer than it was before, because last week weather was tough, quite tough. It was about 20 degrees, and of course lack of power, lack of electricity, heating systems is quite difficult to live in this situation.
Just for our audience to clarify, when we say -10, -20, we mean Celsius, not Fahrenheit, because
Sure.
in the United States, I still can't get used to it. I also use Celsius, but just to our audience, so this is it's a very cold weather, actually. And where do you live? Or you live in the apartment building or in your own house?
Yes, I live in the apartment building, and my floor is only the second floor, and it's quite good in these circumstances, because for people who live above me, they don't have water in their taps, in their tubes, because of the lack of electricity. I have, because the power of this pumping system is enough to get it to the second and maybe to the third floor, but not higher.
I read a post of one of my friends from Kyiv today, and she said that the temperature is in one of the apartment buildings where her friends live. It's like +2 against Celsius, so it's very cold. You cannot live like that. So, what are the temperatures now inside the buildings if you don't have any autonomy, like you don't have your own heating system?
It depends on the type of heating system, first of all, because a lot of people has a heating system like autonomous one on gas, like I have. It still works on electricity, but if you have some kind of portable power station, you can switch it with your like heating system, and it could work for several hours, and sometimes it could help you to make the air inside your apartments warmer till 15, maybe 18 degrees. It's quite okay to have some kind of sweatshirt and feel yourself quite comfortable. But unfortunately, a lot of people in Kiev has electric heating system, and of course without any power, without any electricity, their batteries are cold, quite cold, and the weather, because of the frosty weather outside, first of all, becomes quite unpleasant even in your apartments. And yes, it could be several degrees above zero. People try to use, if they have gas ovens, for example, they could switch on gas, and it could help. It could make the temperature higher. But if people also have only electricity in their house, it's still a big problem. So maybe the best option is to leave to go somewhere where you work. If on your office you have like heating system, working heating system, or to your friends, to your relatives.
Mhm.
As I know, our mayor Klitschko told that more than 600,000 people left Kyiv last several weeks because of this situation.
Let's say you live on the 15th or 20th floor. It means how does your daily routine look like? So you cannot take an elevator, you don't have
Yes.
water, and you need to come up with some ideas how to stay warm, right?
Yes, yes. People, of course, they think that maybe if they don't have electricity, power, that it could not take long. But unfortunately, like last several days, we have no light, we have no power for 19 or even 24 hours. And of course, you need to think how you can wash your hands with warm water, how can you prepare your breakfast without any kind of gas or electricity. And of course, it's quite unpleasant to go upstairs on your 15th floor when you buy some foods in your local store, if it works.
And even just how to sleep. I saw a lot of posts on Facebook where local residents they explain, they give advice to each other how to stay warm, like what to wear, or even, for example, like to put a tent in the middle of the living room because the tent will keep that warm, or put a brick on the stove because the brick will spread
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
temperature, yes, and keep your apartment warm. So a lot of life hacks. Can you describe a little bit like the daily routines of Kyiv residents right now?
No, this trick with a brick on a stove, it works only if you have gas. And if you have gas, actually, it's not a problem to heat in your apartments even without these bricks. It's quite fast to have just one room, or maybe it could be even kitchen with a stove where it will be quite warm. So maybe the first suggestion and like the main life hack what people use is to live and to sleep in one room all together. Maybe on one sofa, on one bed, or even on these big bags on the floor. If in this room temperature is higher than in several one. For example, my mother she unfortunately also doesn't have any gas in her apartments. So I helped her with some like devices to increase the temperature in one room, and she completely stayed in this one single room for all day long, and even sleep in this room because their temperature is higher than in others.
But your mother has a family, so you can
Yes.
luckily you can help her. But I assume that there are a lot of people, like elderly people in Kyiv, who don't have anyone, and they can literally freeze to death.
And by the way, other unpleasant situation when because of the frost, because of the lack of warm water, water inside the pipes in water supply in the heating supply system uh, began to freeze, and
Hmm.
it could damage all the system. And we have several houses in Kiev, big houses, where this heating system is completely destroyed, and a lot of people, facility services try to fix these problems. And people who live in these houses, they couldn't get any kind of heating, working heating system, even after this blackout situation. For example, right now our media, Realная Gazeta, couldn't work at our office because our office is in the big building where this heating system is completely destroyed, and it could take several months even after this situation with lack of electricity because of the Russian shelling.
And how do the schools and hospitals work?
Schools right now they don't have any lessons inside them. Children have breaks and all the lessons are дистанційні. Я забув, Боже.
Online. All the
Online.
lessons are online, but online if you have electricity.
Yes, of course. And if you don't have electricity, you couldn't come to this lesson and see your teacher. So, frankly speaking, it's is like a big break for children. Hospitals they have autonomous heating systems, and but also with several these hospitals and other administrative buildings or buildings where people could get help. We also have problems because in the city we have lack of this autonomous big power stations and so on, generators that could help to switch like oil to electricity. And that is why Ukrainians and people who live in Kyiv also need additional aid from international society, from our allies. And I know that several countries, first of all, European countries, provide this help for Ukrainian people.
I know Ukrainians always help each other. How do volunteers and neighbors help each other right now?
First of all, they welcome to their houses if they have electricity or if they have warm water or
Heat.
heat.
Mhm.
Yes, they could welcome other their friends, relatives, neighbors to uh, take a shower or even to sleep in the room is which is vacant. So yes, people try to survive in this situation, and people in Kiev understand that they could survive only if they help each other.
And what is the general mood among people? What do people feel right now? Because I can't even imagine what you guys are going through now, and I think for the most of people it's unimaginable. They have no people here that like they have no idea what is going on. They see it on the news, but they have no idea how you feel and what does it mean to stay for like weeks without electricity, without heating in the cold weather. And so, what do people feel right now? What is the main like feeling? Are they tired, frustrated, or they still feel like strong and they feel determination?
First of all, I must say that people in Ukraine were quite well prepared for this situation this year because it's not like the first blackout in our country, in our cities. Russia tried to do the same situation even previous winters, but the weather in this winter is much colder than
Yes.
it used to be. And of course, that is why the situation is quite difficult for all people who don't have enough electricity. But people are prepared. A lot of us have this portable small power stations that could provide you some kind of electricity if you switch on your portable lamp to it. It could charge your phone. It could charge your laptop. So you people even in these circumstances continue to work. They continue to meet each other. Local businesses are still working if they have like these big generators. And it's really interesting that when you don't have enough electricity on your streets, there are a lot of noise from these big generators, which provide power to local shops, for example. And of course, a lot of people who really suffer, who don't have enough money for all these like devices, they suffer a lot. First of all, elder one, and that is why a lot of initiatives, volunteering initiatives, emerge in this time. But when we talk about the mood, of course, people are really tired and frustrated. They can't see the end of this war in these circumstances. They understand that all this previous year talking about negotiations with Russia ends with this situation of global blackout when Russians every night bomb our cities with rockets and drones. So unfortunately, I think mood is quite depressing in Kyiv, but I could see a lot of people still on the streets, children, they are playing snowballs, they are skating. Life continues, I think, and we hope that next week must be the weather must be warmer, so the consequences of these shellings, consequences of these blackouts must be uh, like not so difficult to people, not so uh,
Exhausting.
exhausting. Yes, exhausting, right word for us. So we only believe on that situation must be changed to good, even in this bad situations that we have.
What would you like to tell the world right now?
Oh, it's difficult question. I think I would like people all over the world to. You must understand that even in 21st century, you always could get to the situation when you don't have enough food, water supply, power, gas, and so on, because of crazy politicians, because of these empires, old empires that wish to grab lands from other countries. And I think it could be a good lesson for everybody in this planet.
This was Andrii Dikhtyarenko, Ukrainian journalist speaking from Kyiv. If you want to support my work, please subscribe to the channel and share this conversation. Thanks for watching.